So mindfulness is not, it's not about relaxation. There's some myths about mindfulness, right? A lot of people think it's just about distracting our head almost. So using our bodies, or maybe some visualization or something that gives us a break from what's going on up here. That's not mindfulness. It can help. It definitely can help you calm down and make you step into the calming opposite to fight flight, the parasympathetic nervous system. But it doesn't give you the awareness. So that is an important part of mindfulness. It's not religious. A lot of people think it's religious. And yes, it comes originally from Buddhism, because it comes from Wassenaar, which is a kind of meditation that the Buddhists are doing, which is about awareness. But all of these things have been picked out, so we don't do the religious part of it anymore. Now it's securely based on research. So how are we doing for time? Okay. I was gonna, before I go in and talk about the MBSR specifically, I was gonna lead you through a specific meditation. Just a very short one, the reasons why we're doing it, and something you can take home and start practicing at home already. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Good. Can I take a look at the brain?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, that one doesn't say much.
Yeah, this
that one.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna stop.
No, you can let it go. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so meditation is called the pause practice. And it's got 3 steps in it. And we've done it so simple. So in the beginning you might, and on our website you can find it as an audio, so you can listen to it in the beginning. But the idea of it is to make it so simple that you don't need to have anything guiding you. You can just do it. And it can be done anywhere from 1 minute to half an hour. You just make each stop a bit longer. So the idea is to simply pause. The first step is just to pause. Step out, what we just did in the beginning. Step out of doing mode and just go, okay, I'm here right now. And asking yourself, what's going on with me? So this is the awareness part. That's that part there. Right. Just pausing. What's happening what thoughts are happening? Where am I? Am I in the future? Am I in the past? Am I ruminating? Am I worrying? What's happening? What emotions are here? And in the beginning that might be hard. It's hard for a lot of us to pinpoint what's actually here. But then just say, okay, what's happening in my body? And often you can feel, the more you start to question and you start to feel, you start to connect with the body sensation, and you maybe start to feel, okay, I've got this in my belly, or I've got this. So the emotions can often be felt somewhere physically in the body. But it takes time. So if it's not easy for you here, don't worry. That's why we're doing a lot of that in the beginning. So what's going on with me? Just tuning in, pausing, what's happening with me right now. And then you go to the breath. And a lot of meditations focuses on the breath. And that is because it's such a thing that you carry with you all the time. And it's an easy one for most of us. However, some of us find it hard. There are people, after mindfulness has become such a big thing, they're now finding out that actually a lot of people, they say 1 out of 10 people have some kind of trauma. And that can be like an everyday trauma, just like losing somebody, going through a divorce, or saying goodbye to your parents, or whatever it might be. Something like that, that's part of life. But it creates a trauma in you. And sometimes when a mindfulness teacher keeps telling you, go back to your breath, just keep got the breath, sometimes that actually triggers these traumas. So if you at any point feel that way, that the breath is not helping you, that's actually making you feel quite bad, or just making things rise up in your thoughts and your emotions. If you do that, find something else. So the breath is just one out of many anchors. So you can instead just feel the feet on the floor. And we will practice these things during the course so that you find what is good for you. So some people it's the buttocks on the seat, some people it's sounds, whatever it works. I'm sticking with the breath because that's what most people, the majority, but if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you and that's fine. Then we find something else. And you just replace that when I guide it with whatever it is that works for you. And the idea of just being with the breath is the focus. So we're practicing that every time the mind goes up, we're bringing it back. And it goes off, and we're bringing it back. Again and again. And then the last one is carrying on. Because mindfulness is not just about sitting on a mat. And that this is one of my husbands always say, well, how can you change the world by sitting on a mat, right? You have to go out and make changes. And yes, we do. So there's an active component as well. So it's about, okay, now I've taken the time, I have calmed my nervous system down just by breathing, and I know what's happening in me. I've maybe noticed some of my regular patterns where I'm being pulled towards reacting in a certain way. Then I'm asking myself, right, how do I wish to proceed? So this can be done maybe if you are about to make a decision on how to respond to a certain situation, or it can just be in the morning. So it can be either asking yourself, how do I wish to respond to this current situation, or how do I wish to proceed with my day? So those are the 3 steps. And by the way, I haven't mentioned that one over there, kindness, because some mindfulness meditation people, teachers would say that kindness is a part of this circle. And some people will say it's not part of it. It's kindness to yourself. Compassion, self-compassion is implicit in everything we do, because we're facing some demons that we all have them inside of us, and for us to actually not push them away, that requires a lot of courage, but it also requires a lot of kindness to ourselves. So it's okay to feel like this. So we are talking a lot about how most people are not their best friend. Like if we treated our friends the way we treat ourselves, we wouldn't have any friends, because we just have these thoughts and we tell ourselves off, I'm so stupid, why did I do that, and so on. And it's to turn that around and say, it's okay to feel like this from time to time. That's part of being human. It's part of being human to feel all these unpleasant emotions that we have. It's part of being human to have all these negative thoughts. That's just how we have evolved. We got a negativity bias because we got to learn from our mistakes, so we go around them again and again and again. So kindness comes into this. So it's meeting all of these things that we find, going, okay, this is interesting. It doesn't feel very nice, but allow me to feel it, and I can sort of learn to live with it the same way as I did with my back. So it's not taking over my life. Yeah. Instead of, because the resistance that we have towards everything that's unpleasant is the more that we are unkind and blaming ourselves and kicking ourselves for it, the stronger it will be, and the more we'll suffer. So the better we are at meeting everything, both the pleasant and the unpleasant, the better we become at living rich, fulfilling lives, because we're not spending all our time trying to run away from the bad things. Yeah.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does make sense, yeah. But it's not easy to do in real life,
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That resistance is very tiring actually. When you just stop resisting to those bad emotions,
Yeah.
it's already a big relief that to accept what you think about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I often do this exercise, or I have this image. If you put your hands out like this now, and then imagine that in your hands right now are all the things you don't want in your life, all your negative, difficult thoughts and emotions, they're lying here right now. But out here in the horizon is the life you want to live, the person you want to be, right? The problem is, whenever we face difficulties in life, this is what happens. So you walk around like this, and it's not really easy to get or even see that life that lies out there when we're like this.
Yeah.
So with mindfulness, we can't get rid of them. It's our hands. It's part of us, but we can sort of do some mindfulness exercises that makes them come down here, and then we know next corner, boom, they come up again, right? But now we know how to deal with them, and they don't last. That's one of the. It's such a simple thing to realize that everything changes, you know, and to realize, right, this moment too shall pass. So even though right now I feel, oh, everything is just shit, then you go, oh, but hang on, I know it will come down here eventually at some point. Yeah, and especially if I can accept that it's here and it will go away, the faster it will go down here. Yeah. So it's all easy with the mind, right, to make sense, but it's not easy to get there in real life. So that's why we're practicing, because we are literally changing our brains the way. I often say to teenagers when I teach them sometimes that you imagine yourself standing on this field of grass, right, and it's up to here, and whenever you think about something, whenever you behave in a certain way, you're actually carving paths in this grass, right? And every time I go down this path that says, I'm not pretty enough, right? I'm stupid, the more that becomes a motorway, right? And that sits with you forever. Or it could even be aggressive, I'm going to fight back, or I'm just going to go and sit in my room and pouch for the rest of my afternoon or whatever. So every time you make a behavior, you're carving these brains in your mind. This is how, and that's what your go-to whenever things get like this. You're going to react like that. You go into autopilot. So the more you can be aware of these paths that you have already in your brain, you can actually change them. So you can go, oh, hang on, I'm about to go down this one going, I'm not good enough. Oh, that's not helping me. That's not where I want to go. I'm going to make a new one that says it's okay to feel anxious or whatever it is that helps me. Yeah. So, okay, so let's do it. The pause break. The pause practice. So, what have we got? Time. Are you in a hurry? Any of you? It's okay. So it's okay if I go 10 minutes over 9? Okay, great. So I think we'll do this for 10 minutes. Is that good? Yeah? Good. So you get a proper feeling of it? Okay. Is that okay, Sophia? It's going to go a little bit later. Thanks. Okay, so once again, find a comfortable sitting position. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Or simply just gaze at a spot in front of you.